Sounded like some kind of creature scratching the elevator with its claws. The noise sent shivers down my spine. Eventually, I got to my floor, and when the doors opened and I stepped out, the sound stopped. I went into my apartment. That night, around midnight, I was awoken by a low, dull sound. Creepy riddles for you to solve. Read these short stories and figure out the scary hidden meaning behind each one. They're relatively easy, but if you can't guess them, you'll find the answers in the comments section. 1. Curse. I found an ancient book on black magic. It explains how to put a curse on someone. This is what is written in the instructions. If you follow these steps exactly, the curse will be placed on the person of your choosing. However, if you make even one small mistake, the curse will be placed on you instead, so be careful. Do you still wish to proceed? Of course I do. I have an enemy. There is someone who I hate with all my heart, someone I wish would die horribly. I want to place a curse on this person. That's why I searched for this book of black magic. I want this curse to work, so I will follow the steps exactly. Step 1. Close your eyes and imagine the face of your enemy. That's simple. I couldn't forget this person's face even if I wanted to. Okay, what's next? Let's see. Step 2. Imagine the curse you want to place on your enemy and what it will do to them. I want this person to suffer the worst kind of pain imaginable. I want them to be suffering so much that they wish they are dead. Alright, what's the next step? Step 3. Open your eyes. 2. Bathroom. I don't like using the bathroom at night. I don't know why, but I have the strangest feeling it's haunted. My wife says I'm just being silly, but gives me an unsettling feeling. Last night, I woke up around 3 a.m. and noticed that the lights were on in the bathroom. I cautiously opened the door and went inside. 2. Bathroom. I don't like using the bathroom at night. I don't know why, but I have the strangest feeling it's haunted. My wife says I'm just being silly, but gives me an unsettling feeling. Last night, I woke up around 3 a.m. and noticed that the lights were on in the bathroom. I cautiously opened the door and went inside. I was half expecting to see some kind of hideous ghost or have some monstrous creature pounce on me, but nothing happened. The bathroom was empty. I turned off the lights, unlocked the door and went back to bed. In the morning, my wife told me she must have forgotten to turn the lights off. 3. Mountain climbers. There was a group of 8 college students who all belonged to the mountain climbing club. One day, during the winter, they decided to climb the tallest mountain in the area. During the ascent, the weather took a turn for the worse. They ran into trouble and were stranded near the top for 2 weeks. Eventually, a rescue team managed to reach them. There were only 7 survivors. They were airlifted to a nearby hospital. After a few days, 6 of them made a full recovery, but the 7th survivor was so traumatized by the experience that he lost his mind and was put in a mental hospital. The police questioned the remaining 6 about what happened during the 2 weeks they were stranded on the mountain. They asked what happened to the missing climber. He just wandered off and never came back, they said. The police questioned each of the 6 survivors and they all told the same story. Then, they went to the mental hospital to question the 7th survivor, but they couldn't get any sense out of him. When they asked him what happened to the missing climber, he just kept banging his head against the padded walls and repeating over and over, 8. 8, 8. 4. Phone, I witnessed a horrible accident today. I wanted to cross the street and was waiting for the light to turn green when a man bumped into me. He didn't even say sorry. I was about to give him a piece of my mind and tell him to watch where he was going, but then I noticed he had a cane. He didn't seem elderly. There must have been something wrong with his legs. Just then, my phone started ringing. The high-pitched ringtone is really annoying. Before I could answer it, there was a screech of tires and a dull thud. The man who bumped into me was lying in the middle of the street in a pool of blood. His sunglasses were lying nearby, cracked and broken. The driver got out and yelled. He just jumped out right in front of me. The driver thought it was a suicide, but I think the man was just clumsy and didn't look where he was going. It was his own fault. He should have been more careful. "Where were you?" her mother asked. "I was playing with the man who lives next door," the girl replied. "I told you not to tell lies," her mother snapped. 6. Haunted tunnel. There was a tunnel that was said to be haunted. 3 schoolgirls decided to go there one evening to test their courage. When they looked into the tunnel, it was pitch black and the girls started to lose their nerve. They decided to hold hands and run through the tunnel. They ran through the darkness and didn't stop running until they reached the end. When they came out on the other side, without anything happening to them, the girls were gasping for breath and laughing. "Holding hands made it less scary," said one girl. "I'm glad I was in the middle," said the other. "Me too," said the third. 7. Rejuvenation. Old man, can you really rejuvenate my body and make me young again? Scientist, certainly. Our company has developed this machine that will take your cells and use them to generate a young, healthy body. Then, your memories will be extracted and transplanted into your new body. Old man, I see. Very good. The old man lay down on the bed and was covered with a sheet. A few hours passed. Old man, this is taking a long time. When will the procedure begin? Scientist, sorry to keep you waiting. Young man, thank you. The procedure went so well. By the way, what are you going to do with this old body? Scientist, it will be disposed of here. The scientist wheeled the bed into the incineration facility. Old man, oh. The person before me seems to have had a successful rejuvenation. Anyway, finally it's my turn. Young man, thank you. 8. Bridge collapse. I crossed the suspension bridge just before 2200 hours last night. I went to the shop and bought some groceries, then returned home. The next day, I was watching the news on the local TV station. The reporter said, yesterday, a suspension bridge collapsed. Several dead bodies were found in the wreckage. They have yet to be identified. The collapse is believed to have happened between 10 and 11 p.m. On the screen, they showed the suspension bridge that I crossed over yesterday. 8. Bridge collapse. I crossed the suspension bridge just before 2200 hours last night. I went to the shop and bought some groceries, then returned home. The next day, I was watching the news on the local TV station. The reporter said, yesterday, a suspension bridge collapsed. Several dead bodies were found in the wreckage. They have yet to be identified. The collapse is believed to have happened between 10 and 11 p.m. On the screen, they showed the suspension bridge that I crossed over yesterday. 9. Funeral home. A man went to a funeral home to make arrangements for his wife's funeral. The mortician showed him a range of coffins and he picked out the most expensive one. "Only the very best for her," said the man. "She always wanted the very best." After making all the arrangements, the man turned to leave. As he was going, the mortician asked, "When did she die?" The man stopped at the door and replied, "She's not dead yet." 10. Elevator. I live on the 8th floor of my apartment building. I always take the elevator. One day, when I came home from work, I heard something strange in the elevator. Kishikishi kishikishi. It was a weird scratching sound coming from outside the elevator. I listened to it all the way to my floor. Kishikishi kishikishi.